thank God every day for what He has given me, and I'm glad that along the way we've had a chance to leave something great. Those were the inspirational words spoken by Rich Salek, a true leader, friend, and advocate to those fighting kidney disease. In 1973, Salek was newly married and a senior in college. A professional surfer on the US and world surfing teams, Salek's future looked very bright indeed. Suddenly, out of the blue, he was diagnosed with kidney disease, lost 35 pounds in 2 weeks, underwent dialysis for a year, and was told he would never surf again. From this moment began this Hall of Fame and legendary shaper's 40-year fight against the medical odds and his life journey to help others. Salek needed a transplant, and fortunately he had a very willing donor, his identical twin Phil. Salek received a successful kidney transplant in 1974 and was told that his surfing days were over. That's all Salek needed to hear, and his love for the sport drove him to make a comeback. Salek became the first professional athlete to make a competitive comeback following a transplant, winning a pro surfing event. That trophy is still in the dialysis unit at the University of Florida's Shands Teaching Hospital. Salek retired from professional surfing in 1980 as the #1 ranked surfer on the East Coast in the 24 to 35 age group. Perhaps Salek's greatest work began when his pro surfing days ended. Along with his twin brother Phil, they began organizing small surfing events to benefit those on dialysis. The brothers built the annual NKF Surfing Festival into national prominence, and since its inception 28 years ago, it has raised millions of dollars for the fight against kidney disease. In January 2000, Salek was honored for his surfing career and contributions to the sport with induction into the Surfing Hall of Fame as an East Coast legend. With his passing at age 62 in 2012, the world surfing community lost one of its greatest and most courageous sons. But his rich legacy and spirit lives on in the hearts and hopes of millions of people afflicted with kidney disease and in the spirit of people who love surfing worldwide.
You know, God had a bigger plan and picture for me than to pass away a number of years ago, which I easily could have done. And so I'm very, very grateful. There probably isn't a day that I don't thank God for the abilities that I have, and then maybe the things that I don't have, you know. But I'm glad along the way that we've had a chance to leave something great.
A 2013 inductee into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame, Rich Salek.
In honor to his sons, to his immediate family, to his extended family, to the volunteers, and to the National Kidney Foundation. It's also an honor to his identical twin brother. And Bill has picked up the yoke to carry on with his legacy and keep the momentum that Richard started, which is absolutely amazing. A lot of you don't know that he was an incredible athlete. He went to Manatee High School. He was their wrestling champion and football champion, was scouted, had 10 full-ride scholarship awards. He turned them all down because he heard the call of surfing. And we used to think, what is it going through this man's brain? But he heard this call and he knew it's so strong. And then when at age 23 he found out he was going to have a kidney transplant, and they did tell him he was never going to surf, that just made him stronger and made him want to give his life to serve people who were on dialysis and who are less fortunate than he was. And he just never quit. He was undying love for the sport kept him moving forward, where he was able to partner with the National Kidney Foundation. He founded the Labor Day Surf Festival that has earned millions of dollars to make donor awareness for transplantation and raise funds for research for kidney disease. He's had an amazing career, and again, if he was here, he'd be thrilled. He would just be jumping for joy. And I am emotional about it because we are his immediate family, and we really thank you for this honor. It's really a tribute to him.
fact, that video you just saw, that last little snippet of Rich there, we took it at a home on Merritt Island. He was with Dr. Tischer from University of Florida, and those words there, it's just still gives me goosebumps, and I know he's looking down on this tonight, having a good laugh. So that's what he liked to do. Rich was always had a fantastic sense of humor, despite all his incredible limitations, but he didn't let them hold him back. And it just goes to show in life, you saw that picture of him as a young man. What an absolute specimen. The peak fitness he had then, and all of a sudden his life just changed like that. But look what happened to him, look what he did in his career. Absolutely amazing. One more time for Rich Salek and his family, and Bob Freeman. Now this next person, the committee had many meetings over the last year, and we were talking and having coffee, and we really enjoyed these meetings because every time we met, we talked about the incredible people that are just so abundant here in the Space Coast. And the more we dug, the more we looked, the more people sent in information, the more incredible, inspirational things we found. And we found a person who really has touched so many lives in the county, and really has made a huge difference in his community in his own special way. And this person, we all love him. He's known all the way across the county, and he's going to continue doing this for many years to come. I know you know what I mean. This is a tribute to Mr. Buster Beal.
Center last year, the 2013 Tiger Hunter and all year, named Kevin Beal the Volunteer of the Year for Brevard Schools. A tsunami of applause and congratulatory yells for Buster, Buster, Buster erupted in the auditorium. Kevin Buster Beal is beloved by everyone at Merritt Island High School, where he is the go-to guy for whatever a sports team needs. He is the school's biggest fan and motivator. He is their heart. The 29-year-old Merritt Island resident is mentally delayed, but the disability is totally irrelevant to Buster's appreciation for life's little pleasure and his desire and ability to go not just an extra mile, but rather 5 for both friends and strangers. The charm of Buster is that he treats everyone he meets with joy and love, says proud mom Sheila Beal. When Buster was a sophomore, Chuck Goldfarb, one of his teachers at Merritt Island High, suggested he get involved in team sports. Buster didn't just run with the idea, he careened with it. Although he graduated a decade ago, he continues his constant devotion to his favorite school. He bikes 5 miles to school each day, arriving at 1:30, so he can get things ready before the teams head out to the field after the school day ends. Football, soccer, volleyball, and baseball keep him busy as sports seasons ebb and flow throughout the year. Being able to work with the teams keeps me a part of all the action, says Buster, who can't really comprehend his almost celebrity status in Merritt Island. Seeing him leading the team onto the field as he proudly waves the large Merritt Island flag is poetry in motion. This is love without reservations. Whenever the team scores, Buster is back out on the field with the flag, letting the world know that Merritt Island High is invincible. He may not have expertise in strategies or stats, but Buster overflows with inspiration, passion, and enthusiasm. Sure makes a parent proud, says his father, Alan Boston Beal. Buster is an amazing individual, but so too are the family and friends who helped him blossom. Because people looked past his imperfections, he found a way to make his own unique contribution to the world, says Jessica Beal. Because he is loved by a town, he found his place in the world. A 2013 inductee into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame and recipient of the 2013 Challenger Award, Buster Beal.
I want to thank the Hall of Fame for choosing me. This is a big honor for me. I love to bring part of Merritt Island High School sports to thank Chuck Goldfarb for getting me involved in high school sports, giving me my nickname, Buster the Body Cram for Gold Buster. Thank you, Coach McClain, for letting me help with football, letting me run the flag. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything. And my car rides, always keep my flag. Go Mustangs, get it done.
Absolutely incredible. An inspiration to us all. As you can see, it takes people in the NFL and World Series of Baseball, but that truly is inspiration, unconditional love for his community and, of course, of his great family, the Beals. Many congratulations, and Chuck. A coach did it once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it one more time for the Beal family. Absolutely fantastic. Well, this next person is a very close personal friend of mine, and very proud to call him so. And this gentleman has taken the institution down in Melbourne from a small program all the way to one of the contenders for the most growth, I think, of any private institution in the country in athletics. And this is a tribute to our good friend, Mr. Bill Jurgens.
The long association of Bill Jurgens and athletics at Florida Institute of Technology may best be remembered for a career spanning 44 years and counting, but that would overlook his storied success as a coach, administrator, and a role model for generations of students. A resident of Melbourne since he was in 3rd grade, Jurgens never dreamed growing up that he would one day lead a college athletic program or champion Florida Tech's fortunes on and off the playing field for nearly 6 decades. A 1964 graduate of Melbourne High School, Jurgens attended Jacksonville University and majored in biology. He also competed in rowing for 4 years and became captain of the school's team as a senior. He returned to Melbourne in the fall of 1969 and was hired by Florida Tech on a part-time basis to coach the rowing team. As Florida Tech rowing coach, the team won its first 5 races and even defeated arch-rival Rollins College. By the following fall, Jurgens became a full-time coach at Florida Tech, and in '76 he became the school's athletic director. Serving as FIT's rowing coach for 20 years, he led the squad to the state title in '74, and in '75 FIT claimed its first national championship. In all, Jurgens led the Panthers to 20 NCAA team and individual titles until stepping down in 1988. With his coaching days behind him, Jurgens poured his heart and soul into developing a level of excellence for the athletic department at FIT. FIT's programs flourished. The athletic department has expanded under his watch to include 22 sports and hundreds of student athletes. The Panthers' first ever college football team will make its debut in the fall. As Florida Tech's number and variety of sports teams has grown over the years, interacting and building relationships with the student athletes has taken on added significance for Jurgens. I always give them advice. They may not ask for it, but I give it to them, he says. I try to set myself in a position to help people. Jurgens encourages FIT athletes to get involved in the community in service-oriented endeavors and programs, such as working with handicapped children or volunteering in a food pantry. Jurgens, who is a member of the Florida Tech Sports Hall of Fame and the Jacksonville University Athletic Hall of Fame, has indeed been the right man for the job at Florida Tech, and his vision for athletics at the school has created a model program that others try to emulate. A 2013 inductee into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame and recipient of the Sports Visionary Award, Bill Jurgens.
All right, Bill. Bill couldn't be here tonight because he's trying to win another national championship at the Dad Vale Regatta up north, so he does have a special message for you tonight.
I'm sorry I cannot be joining you this evening, but I'm in Philadelphia for the Dad Vale Regatta. We're celebrating the 25th anniversary of our men's varsity 8 winning that event. It's also the 75th anniversary of the Dad Vale Regatta, so it's a real special event up here. We have a lot of alumni attending, parents, over 150. Rowing, in a sense, is a microcosm of the entire athletics program at Florida Tech, with the participation level, with the alumni level, the fan support. It is a sport that also, this year, is seeded #1 in the men's varsity 8 and #8 in the nation among Division II schools for the women. So we have a good chance of doing well and repeating what we did 25 years ago. So it's a real exciting time. We've got plenty of events in line for all of our alumni and fans. And as I said, I'd like to be there, but this is a very special moment for us. In 1976, I became the athletics director at Florida Tech. And at that time, I wanted to replicate what we had been doing in rowing with all the sports. But one of my major objectives at that time was to also have a broad-based sport, to provide great opportunities for as many student athletes in as many sports as possible. And with the help of the administration over the years, and in the last 10 years, all the support from Dr. Katniss, we now have 22 varsity sports, and we'll have over 600 student athletes starting next year. That's at a real exciting time for us. As far as what is most gratifying during all this, it is seeing our student athletes graduate and seeing their preparation for life, both physically, emotionally, and academically in their profession. That by far is the most gratifying. We've had over 4,500 student athletes graduate from Florida Tech. And with our 22 sports that we have now, we're looking for many, many thousands more to graduate and to be prepared for the workplace wherever they go, whether it be the Melbourne area or throughout the country, or the world for that matter. I'm very gratified to receive this honor, having grown up in Melbourne and watched many of the inductees this evening participate, be it officiating or coaching or in their respective sports. It's nice to see them being recognized and to be a part of it. Also, I would like to thank the selection committee of the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame for selecting me. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I hope all of you have a great evening, and thank you.
Well, we have Bill Fuller here tonight. We would like to ask Mandy Colbreth, Mr. Jurgens, Bill's daughter, come up and say a few words. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Giles. My dad would have loved to have been here this evening, and I'll be brief. I know he's known as the AD of FIT, but I'll always be a coach's kid. And anyone in this room who's a coach's kid knows that if you're going to see your dad or your mom, you're going to be at all the events. So I grew up on fields and on the shore of the river watching regattas and games and tennis and sports that I didn't even know about at the time. But thank you so much, Giles, for a lovely event, and thank you.
Thank you very much for coming tonight, Mandy. I know Bill really wanted to be here, but that another national championship is a bit more of a draw for Bill. He's still got the fire in the belly, as you can tell. And make sure you all come down to that first football game down there at Florida Tech. That's going to be quite an occasion. Now then, we're coming to the end, folks, almost to the end. What an incredible evening it's been so far. And you've seen the young, the old, the middle-aged. All these Hall of Famers have all had different impacts in all different disciplines. And they're setting an example. Their families behind them, their friends are behind them, and they have goals, they have discipline. And this group here, this is a very young group of Hall of Famers that are being inducted because they made an incredible impact. Let's hear this tribute now for the 2012 Rockledge All-Stars World Championship team.
Hi, I'm Dave Clanton, coach for Rockledge Little League in Rockledge, Florida.
Hi, I'm Robbie Raju, one of the coaches for Rockledge Little League.
Hi, I'm Tom Hall, coach for Rockledge Little League.
Hi, my name is Justin Raju. I play left field, and my favorite baseball player is Derek Jeter. I'm Kevin Clanton. My position is shortstop, and my favorite player is Derek Jeter.
Hi, my name is Trevor Payne. I catch, and my favorite player is David Ortiz.
My name is Drew Parrish. I play center field and pitcher, and my favorite player is Mike Trout.
My name is Mason Sessa. I play shortstop, and my favorite player is Chipper Jones.
My name is Blake Lyle. I play third base, and my favorite baseball player is Ian Desmond.
Hi, my name is Brady Martello. I play outfield, and my favorite player is Adrian McCutcheon.
Hi, my name is Mike Hall, second base for Rockledge, and my favorite player is Robinson Connect.
Hi, my name is Gavin Schoonover. I play first base. My favorite player is John Chandler.
Hi, my name is Jackson Parker. I play outfield. My favorite baseball player is Dustin Pedroia. Go Rockledge.
Rockledge's amazing run in 2012 All-Stars Baseball culminated with a dramatic extra-inning victory in the Junior League Baseball World Series as they defeated Aruba 12-10 in 8 innings before a worldwide television audience of millions on ESPN2. The team never lost a game in All-Stars competition, spanning a total of 50 games during District 22, Section 3, State of Florida, Southeastern Regional, and World Series tournament play. In the World Series championship game, Mason Studstill snapped a 2-2 tie by belting a 2-out, 3-run homer over the center field fence in the 4th inning that put Rockledge up 5-2. Studstill's second homer of the day in the top of the 6th gave Rockledge a seemingly insurmountable 8-4 advantage. But a scrappy Aruba team managed to keep the game close and came back to tie it at 10-all and forced the championship game into extra innings. Rockledge scored what proved to be the decisive run in the 8th inning, oddly enough, on a balk by the Aruba pitcher. Blake Bile then recorded the final 3 outs as Rockledge held on for a tough 12-10 win over the resilient Aruba squad. Drew Parrish had 3 hits in the series finale, and catcher Trevor Payne scored 3 runs. Studstill's 6 homers in the Junior League World Series tournament set an all-time record, breaking former Major League star Gary Sheffield's record of 5 that stood for almost 3 decades. Close, thrilling games were the norm for this World Championship team. Rockledge was motivated and determined to win, no matter what the circumstance. And as a result, these young men will forever have the honor of being called World Champion.
And then we have all the players tonight, stand up over here in the front, Kevin Clancy, Mason Studstill, Taylor Payne, Devin Stillwater, Blake Bile, come on up boys. Drew Parrish, Justin Ruby, Brady Martello, Jackson Parker, and Mike Hall. Let's have the coaches as well, please, the Robbie Ruby, Tom Hall, and David Clancy. There's some future All-Stars in this group, folks. Right down here, boys. Come up here. Right down here in front. Otherwise, you'll be running me off the stage. There we go. Right in front here, gents. Perfect. Come on down. And if I could have one representative come up to say a few words on behalf of the team. Like a player and a coach, please. Player and a coach.
I want to thank everybody for the opportunity for us, the team, to be here tonight. I'd like to take Space Daily and assist us daily with the committee. My congrats go out to all the other grantees tonight. I would like to thank the families of this team for their support throughout this great run and the great run it was. I'd like to thank the wives, the coaches, for letting us through the time to achieve this greatness. I'd like to thank the team, the boys, for the opportunity for us to be able to coach them into this greatness. And thanks again. Stay safe.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the coaches for guiding us through all 50 games that we won. I was able to last. Then, yeah, no one can beat us. Not you. Then I'd like to thank all my teammates for being there with me every step of the way. Even when we were down, we always picked each other up, and that was a blast. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family.
And let's tribute to this community, the coaches and the parents. We'd like to thank, of course, all the parents. In fact, let's do this. Let's have all the parents of these boys stand up in the room right now. All you parents, let's have a round of applause for the parents. Because they're the ones who are leading these kids And then the ones that develop these kids into world champions again. So we'd like to thank and recognize those parents. Boys, it's up to you now. Wish you the very best of luck in your college careers and your future careers. Don't forget, give back to your community. Figure out ways to do that.
There you go.
Get a little tighter, boys. Get a little closer there. Come up a little bit. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the 2012 Rockledge All-Stars World Champions. Thank you, gentlemen. Well played. Many congratulations to you. Well, folks, we're coming towards the end now. And these are the folks, towards the end of the night, we'd like to recognize, as you can see, the continual theme all through this evening, the people that make a difference in these kids' lives. Yes, they have talent, they have ability, but these coaches are the ones who drive them. They show up night after night, morning after morning, teaching these kids what they need to know. Now we get into our coaches, the tributes to our Hall of Famers this year. Our first coach who will be inducted is a gentleman who's made an incredible difference in the community for many different reasons, and has raised an incredibly influential family who've gone on to be leaders in their own right. This is a tribute now to Mr. Dick Blake.
A history of athletics in Brevard County would most certainly include a chapter on Dick Blake's extraordinary accomplishments. The grandson of freed slaves and a lifelong resident of Rockledge, Blake was the 7th of 10 children in his family, 8 of whom eventually earned college degrees. Attending Coco's Black Monroe High School, Blake starred in football as a wide receiver, in baseball as a first baseman, and basketball as a 6'5" forward center. His athletic prowess earned him a scholarship to South Carolina State University, where for 4 years he played both basketball and football. After graduating from college, he taught and coached in Brevard County, and in 1955 became Monroe High School's head basketball and football coach, teaching biology and math at the school also. Blake's basketball teams were powerhouses in the era of segregated education. He coached Monroe High School to a third-place finish in the state in 1963, was runner-up in 64, and captured then back-to-back state championships in 65 and 1966. After coaching at Monroe for 11 years, Blake was asked in 1966 to help pave the way for integration in Brevard County by becoming the new assistant principal at Cocoa High School. Blake became a fixture at the school, becoming the school's principal in 1978, serving in that position until his retirement in 2003. Blake also got to know many of the black pioneers of integration in baseball who spent spring training in Florida. Players such as Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays came to call Blake a trusted friend. Blake has spent 36 years on the Rockledge City Council, the longest tenure ever served by anyone in elected office on the Space Coast. He has 2 sons, Michael, Coco's first black mayor, and Mark, and has 1 daughter, Cheryl Lynn. Earlier this year, a city park in Rockledge was renamed in his honor. Dick Blake's accomplishments as an athlete, educator, and school administrator, elected community servant, and leader in civil rights and racial equality issues are legendary. A 2013 Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Dick Blake.
Congratulations, Blake. Thank you so much.
First of all, I'd like to recognize my family, all members of my table. Please stand. My family members, please stand. My professional football player, Michael Dawson, Mark, Sheldon, Bert. Thank you so very, very much. This is quite an honor for me to be honored tonight and to receive the 2013 inductees of the Space Coast Daily Hall of Fame. This is quite an honor. I'm just so pleased to be here tonight. As the record says that I have been blessed in winning many championships, but nothing is so pleasing to me as to be honored tonight. So thank you very, very much, Space Coast, for this great honor, and I'm very, very pleased. our boys baseball team, world champions in Rockledge, and I have something about coaching. Tonight, I have to recognize Jim Slater, will you please stand? Let's stand. Came all the way from the University of Alabama. We're going to put the staff, University of Alabama. Here we go, so that we have with us tonight. And yes, Danny used up 5 of my minutes, so I will be very brief. But y'all know Danny and I coached together, played together. But again, and this is the time, again, words cannot express how pleased I am to receive this honor and also to be recognized in the class of 2013 with such an outstanding bunch of athletes in Space Coast. Congratulations and thank you very, very much.
What an incredible career, Mr. Blake had, and made a huge difference, raised some great sons, and many congratulations, many thanks for everything he's done for the community. I'm sure he'll do many more things as well. He's not done yet. Mr. Dick Blake, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Thank you, sir. Well, Mr. Barnes earlier made some very incredible comments about this next person, who obviously had an incredible influence in his life, and Mr. Tharp as well. And I'd like to pay tribute to an incredible woman, a gracious woman, incredible leader, Ms. Laura Dixon.
Instructor at Titusville High School in 1970, team sports for girls were not recognized by the Florida High School Athletics Association. Title IX soon changed that in 1972. Despite the new law, coaches such as Dixon had to coax their athletic directors to share the funds, which had gone exclusively to the boys in the past. Initially, it was a minimal amount, says Dixon. We had money allotted for 40 uniforms to be shared by the volleyball, basketball, and softball teams. They lasted 8 years. Dixon, who will celebrate her 44th wedding anniversary on June 21st to former aerospace engineer Howard Dixon, didn't get a chance to play high school sports at North Miami High School or at Florida State. Dixon attended Florida State, where she received her BS in PE in '68. She excelled in several women's intramural sports and was named to the F Club. Years later, FSU bestowed varsity letters to all members of the F Club. During her first year at Titusville High School in 1970, Dixon coached volleyball, basketball, and track as part of the GAA. 5 years later, Titusville fielded its first FHSAA girls volleyball team after the Title IX ruling. In '81, Titusville won the first of its 2 state championships in volleyball under Dixon. Dixon won another volleyball state crown in '83 and coached the Terriers to the state runner-up spot in '85. In addition, Dixon's Terriers won 3 sectional championships, 5 regional championships, 8 district titles, and 5 Cape Coast Conference titles. She retired from coaching volleyball after the 1999 season and from teaching in 2003. Dixon posted an outstanding 359-152 record as a volleyball coach at Titusville and was inducted into the FHSAA Hall of Fame in 2004. She was only the 3rd woman to be inducted into the Florida Athletic Coaches Association Hall of Fame in '97 and was named the FACA Volleyball Coach of the Year in '81 and '83. Titusville High's top female athlete is honored each year with the Laura Dixon Female Athlete of the Year Award. A 2013 inductee into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame, Laura Dixon.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the Space Coast Daily and the Maverick Publishing Company for providing this honor to all of us and for my being able to be inducted into such a class. People don't realize that when you are around from 1970 until this time, you've got to see a lot of these coaches, administrators, and ball players. And especially, I think you can understand to be able to see these female athletes that didn't get their opportunity until 1975, 76. I have to walk down, and my biggest thing from the time I was in high school, I'm a Miami native, North Miami High. A coach at that level reminded me that there wasn't any varsity sports for team sports for women, and I shouldn't have to worry about any rules or regulations having to deal with them. My dream was to be able to finally coach. I wanted to play, but I knew it was not going to be, coming around that soon. But when finally 75, 76, because of the Title IX that came in 72 and had to trickle down to us here in the state of Florida, it took that many years. It's so important because these gals that we're recognizing tonight and those that were recognized last year would not have had the opportunity to play. And that opportunity was so important, and the quality of the coaching that those girls had meant so much. And I pledged myself to the fact that I was going to, do my very best to be prepared for the day that we got to coach. And my thanks go to, first of all, my parents who are unable to be with us here tonight, and then to my hubby that anytime I needed anything done, his talents as far as making or fixing things came in handy. And knowing how to use a microwave was the greatest talent I got. So, people just, are so used to having male coaches and their wives doing the job. Well, there's female coaches out there that their husbands want the greatest guys in the world. I know that you can't accomplish that. My hat goes off to those ladies. The pleasure of having the idea of family. I grew up with this phrase, and both my mother and father seem to be able to bring it out. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till the good is better, and the better best. And I would say, well, Dad, how's this job? Isn't this good? And he says, no, we can do better. And then Mom always had the last word with, we want the best. And I credit them. I approach coaching with the idea with my players that we were family and we treated one another as family. And anything that needed to be done, we could accomplish through hard work and dedication to one another. So I thank you so very, very much. Please, please don't ever let them take Title IX away. Dads, brothers, anybody that supports women's athletics, keep the support there because they too can get the benefits from athletics. Thank you so very, very much.
Wow, an incredible woman, had an incredible influence on her community, and many thanks indeed to Laura Dixon. One more time for Laura Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. Support Title IX. As you can see, we have some incredible female athletes who owe their support to Title IX. Next up, we have a gentleman who talk about fire in the belly. This gentleman certainly got it. Made an incredible difference in Brevard County. A living legend on the Space Coast. Let's hear for Coach, basketball coach, Greg Hostetler.
When opposing coaches scheduled a game against Astronaut High School girls basketball team, they knew to expect two things from the matchup. The first was that they would be facing an extremely well-coached team by Greg Hostetler. The second was a sideline show like no other that featured an animated Coach Hostetler waving his arms, frantically pacing up and down, shouting out instructions, and directing his team in a constant flurry of motion. Hostetler grew up in Goshen, Indiana, and played basketball at Jefferson High School in the late 1960s before choosing a career in education and earning his degree at Ball State University. When Hostetler subsequently entered the coaching ranks in Florida, the Title IX decision of the early 1970s helped create a level playing field and provided equal opportunities for girls nationally to compete in high school athletics. Hostetler took full advantage of that when he agreed to coach the Astronaut War Eagles girls basketball program in Titusville in the fall of 1977. He spent a total of 32 seasons prowling the sidelines at the school and, in the process, taught the finer points of basketball and imparted lessons on how to win to generations of young ladies. Along the way, Hostetler's team racked up 16 district titles, 3 state championships, and was a runner-up in the state in 2000. He compiled a record of 642 and 263 at Astronaut before retiring from coaching after the 2009-2010 season. As some of his former players moved on to compete in college, no matter how busy he was, Hostetler could always be found in the stands, cheering for the young women he once coached and offering them support and encouragement. He captured honors as Cape Coast Conference Coach of the Year 12 separate times and was singled out as the Florida Dairy Farmers Girls Basketball Coach of the Year in 2006. Also in 2006, the Florida Athletic Coaches Association paid tribute to his work by inducting Hostetler into the FACA Hall of Fame. And now, we welcome Greg Hostetler, a tireless proponent of increased participation of girls in athletics and one of the most successful coaches in the history of Florida high school basketball, into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame.
I never went to practice without a plan, down to the detail, down to the minute, down to the second. And I didn't come here tonight without one either. So, first of all, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Space Coast Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me to be inducted into this prestigious group. I'm truly honored to be included with tonight's other inductees, and I congratulate all of them. I would like to thank a few other people. My wife Brenda, who's sitting in the back, for her never-ending support. She was always there. You know, I think it was part of the vows, you know, for richer or poorer, in good times and bad times, until coaching departs. Life can be very difficult for a coach's spouse, especially when you have children. My son Josh, for dealing with the amount of time I was gone, and I was not able to attend some of his activities. My daughter Jenna, for enduring me as her coach. I did apologize to her when she was in the 8th grade. For the next 4 years, she would have to put up with me at Astronaut. I'm glad to announce that she did survive. And my parents, who were always supporting and encouraging as I grew up. As I reflect in the past, I'm often amazed at what has transpired in my life. I could have gone in many directions, followed many different paths. I chose to come to Florida when a couple of fraternity brothers said, "Hey, you want to go to Florida and get a job?" I thought, beach, sun, girls, okay. That was 42 years ago. It seems like yesterday. When I was off to take over a struggling girls program in its 4th year of existence, I really didn't know if I wanted to coach girls. I took a chance, and 32 years later, I retired from coaching with various accolades, accomplishments, and awards. So I guess I made a pretty good decision. Someone once asked me why I stayed with the girls. I told them the huddle smelled better. A lot of people thought I was just plain nuts trying to deal with girls' moods. Yeah, like the guys don't have them either. But the reality is that girls are just as competitive, work just as hard, and are often more coachable. And I want to say thank you, Laura Dixon, for all you've done for girls sports. I really don't know how good of a coach I was, but I do know that I was surrounded by good people. My assistant coaches, my administrators, and mostly my players. Without their acceptance of my coaching, I would not have achieved the success for which I'm being honored tonight. The goal was to win games. That's what everybody wants to do. And if you don't, they're all over you. But the ultimate goal for me was to always get the girls to do their best to become the best they could become at whatever they may do. That's a doctrine that I attribute to the great John Wooden, one of his foundations. As the resume tells of my many accomplishments, the one thing it doesn't tell is the greater rewards that people don't see or hear about. A successful flight attendant, a young lady driving around in a pink Cadillac because of her success with Mary Kay, a player now in optometry school, a nurse, others that are teaching and coaching our youth, young women serving their country in the armed forces. A former player who graduated 5 years ago is currently in the Army. As she was going through boot camp, she wrote her mom a letter about the training. Her mom shared it with me. And this is what she had to say. We ran 5 miles straight today. It was really hard. But I made it. I kept up with the drill sergeant the entire time. And when I wanted to stop, all I heard in my head was Coach Haas say, "This is the 4th quarter. Push it. This is where championships are won. Keep going." So I kept going, and I kept moving my feet. It was crazy that I even thought about that at that time, but it motivated me, so that was good. Yes, championships are great. They produce a momentary euphoria, wonderful feelings of the moment that fade over time, but give you lasting memories. But it's the type of comments above that are the greatest rewards for me. Those values and attitudes are the most important things I taught my players. The type of winning that keeps on giving day after day, always producing another championship. That is the icing on the cake. Thank you again for this wonderful award.
Thank you, Coach. And to show the type of man he is, how he gives back, Greg was here this morning. We had the Breakfast of Champions for the high school athletes, recognizing them, and Greg was a sponsor of one of those awards this morning, giving back even now to the community he loves. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Greg Hostetter. This next coach is beloved by so many people in the county, parents, players themselves, world champions, and Bruce Bochy, and many, many people. I've known Ernie for a long time, and I'm very, very proud and honored tonight to do this tribute to Coach Ernie Rosso.
If you know baseball on the Space Coast, chances are you've heard of Ernie Rosso. The Red Rooster graduated from Satellite High School in 1969. After playing baseball at Brevard Community College, he would then play in the professional ranks in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. After his professional career ended, Rosso went into coaching, where he would then become head coach of the Brevard Community College Titans in 1980. After 5,000 practices later, Rosso would leave as the greatest coach in BCC baseball history. Rosso retired after 29 years at the Titans helm in 2012. His 735 wins are the most in school history and one of the top wins totals in Florida junior college baseball history. Rosso led the Titans to state championships in 1986 and 1989. The 1986 squad proved to be the most successful in school history as they finished second in the National Junior College Baseball World Series. According to Rosso, his 1984 team, which finished 5th in the state, had the greatest collection of talent he's ever coached. We went 39-5 that season and shattered every offensive record we had, Rosso said. It was the most dominating team I've ever coached. Titans practices proved to be legendary under Rosso. He pointed out that it wasn't uncommon to have a 6-hour practice, hammering the basics into his players. Rosso also was quick to point out how lucky he was to have such great assistant coaches by his side. A lot of our baseball team's success goes back to the coach Flex, Tysons, Coleman's, and Rahals, who were all with me over the years, Rosso said. They knew how to coach these guys when I was having a bad day. Since retiring last year, Rosso has stayed busy. He still teaches full-time at BCC and follows the college and pro game every day. While he doesn't miss the coaching aspect as much, it was the daily interaction he misses dearly. I still keep in contact with a lot of my former players, which is very important to me. As I look back now, it was a good run. This is a first for me, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. You'll always remember your first. Now I'm just along for the ride. A 2013 Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Ernie Rosso.
A true baseball guy. This is a gentleman that actually taught me about baseball, Ernie Rosso.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame for this induction that's been bestowed upon me. It's tremendously humbling. I'm actually short of breath thinking about it right now, because I've had about 2.5 hours to wait. But Giles and I go way back, and we did a lot of business together at Cocoa Expo. And I've been great admiration of this committee and what they put forth, and I feel very humbled and blessed to be in this group. The first group was twice as exciting, and now I'm in this one. I feel very, very special tonight. What was pretty cool about the video you saw is one of my former players, Thomas Kerrigan, actually wrote the literature and the words to the video, and one of my former players, Brian Dillon, actually put together the choreographics involved in the video, so that's pretty special for me. Tonight's about recognition, but not about recognition of me. It's about recognition of people I love and have had tremendous impact in my life and my baseball career. I wouldn't be up here without them tonight, and I'm going to recognize them tonight. I've waited long enough, and they deserve it. I'm very fortunate. My sister Linda flew in from Maryland yesterday, going to be here tonight, leaving tomorrow. Nobody could have had a better, bigger sister. She's been a tremendous impact. And since the loss of my parents, she's really kept the family together. I really, really appreciate that from her. I've also got my brother David, who was a pretty good high school athlete, coached in the public school system, and has been a teacher over 30 years. Very proud of him. As Bill Jurgens' daughter mentioned, my two children, 27, 28 to be in 30, grew up in the baseball field and in the sports world also. And I was just very pleased, if any of you have had that happen, to know the special bond and commitment you get by living in that environment. My beautiful daughter Jill and my lovely son Randy, who actually played for me 2 years and didn't do too bad and had to live with me a night at home. So give him a lot of credit for that. There's also some other special people in here that I'd like to recognize very quickly. I know it's been a long night and got a tremendous, great coach following me. A wonderful way to cap off the evening. But I have some assistant coaches here that helped me during the time. One is Wayne Tyson, who coached with me in the 80s when we were at our greatest. There's no doubt if you watch the biography, we're at the strongest we ever were. He was a great part of that. Back when we won in 1989, I gave him the Coach of the Year award. That's the impact I thought he had on the program. Another gentleman I had that helped me out was Bill LaChapelle. He's here tonight, surprised me, was one of my assistant coaches. As I've always said, I've had many coaches that assisted me, both by pay and voluntary. And all you coaches know how important those assistant coaches are, especially the voluntary ones that put in long, long hours and difficult days, especially when you have to work for me. I'd also like to recognize Charles Smith, first BCC athlete ever received an academic athletic scholarship. I know he had major influence in getting me up here tonight, and I really appreciate him for that. Another gentleman that you've heard his name mentioned a couple times that needs to be very pleased tonight, and a proud papa in a way, is Jack Kenworthy. I too, like Bruce Bochy, did not have any real calling out of high school. I was a 132-pound, whopping, lightning fast guy, and Coach Kenworthy gave me a chance. The rest is history. Played me consecutively for 2 years, moved me along, got me into a great university, and that led to professional baseball and where I am today. He's always been my mentor. I've always considered him the most special male adult in my life, besides my father. He's been a tremendous influence, and anybody that's ever played for him and known him can attest to that, and he's a wonderful man. I'm glad he's here tonight, and Bruce and I talk about him often. We're very excited and proud of him. He did a wonderful job. I've also got a very special lady here tonight by the name of Miss Susan Patello. I'm proud that she's with me tonight. I've got two players here that mean a lot to me. They could be my son's extended family. One is Eddie Yanis, who walked onto my program, and this is the intricacies and interesting part of baseball. My all walk-on team could probably beat my all scholarship team. You just never know what's in the heart, the mind, the heart, head, and all the other things that go along with being a great player. Eddie was part of my all 30-year decade team, was drafted 4 or 5 times, signed first round, played professional baseball. Now is the most successful softball coach in the history of Brevard Community College, having been in the state tournament 8 of the last 9 years. And in the next half decade or so, I'm sure he'll be up here recognized as one of the greatest softball coaches in this county. The other player that showed up tonight flew in from Boston. He always tells me he was the worst player on my worst team in my first year. That's how he talks about himself. But he's like a son to me. He flew in tonight, absolutely shocked me, took my breath away, humbled me more than I've ever been humbled. I love him to death. He's been very involved in everything I've done at Brevard. One of the greatest things he ever said to me is, I wish you'd stayed long enough so my son could have played for you. Son's going to be a heck of a player. My player, and I appreciate you being here. I hope I haven't missed anybody, because that's a shame if I do, because it's the people out here that have been a tremendous influence on me. I'm humbled tonight. It's my first, I'm 62 years old, it's my first Hall of Fame, so I'm doing it tonight. I'm going to celebrate by staying up till 11 o'clock tonight. So thank you so much. It's a wonderful night, and all the people here, I've read about them, I've watched them, I follow them. That book has gone everywhere, people. I've mailed it out. The YouTube's gone everywhere, and the people that put this together have been recognized 1,000 times, and they should be recognized 1,000 more times. What they've done is tremendous tonight, and I really appreciate it. And I was going to end it by saying it's a pleasure to be a member of this fraternity, but now I've got to add sorority. Thank you very much, very, very much.
Another example of what makes the Space Coast such a hotbed of sports and talent. Coach Ernie Russell, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Ernie. And thank you so much to Coach Kenworthy, all his players and his family who come tonight. That says so much, about Coach Russell. Our last inductee tonight, folks, into the 2013 Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame is a person who's really blazing a trail here in one of our local most outstanding high schools for sports. That's Cocoa High School. This is a tribute for trailblazer now, John Wilkinson.
Playing for legendary coach Gerald Odom at Merritt Island High School, John Wilkinson learned that the more challenging a game actually is, the more it creates an opportunity for greatness. With his playing days for the Mustangs ended with his graduation in 1988, Wilkinson decided to pursue a career in coaching. He carefully studied how to coach and motivate young athletes while earning a degree at University of Florida. Following college, Wilkinson returned to serve as football assistant under Odom at Merritt Island High School. He then accepted an offer to be an assistant coach for the University of Massachusetts football squad before returning to Florida and again joining Odom's staff as an offensive coordinator, this time at New Smyrna Beach High School. Wilkinson longed to return to the Space Coast, and in 2005 he got his chance. When Odom was finishing up his career as a head football coach at Cocoa High, he recommended Wilkinson to the Tigers athletic director Chuck Goldfarb as his replacement. It was that decision that prompted a revival of football fortunes at Cocoa High School and a renewed sense of pride for the entire city. In 8 years at the helm of the Tigers, Wilkinson's teams have been a perennial contender for state championships, capturing state titles in 3 consecutive seasons, 2008, 2009, and 2010, and reaching the state semifinals in 2011 and 2012. If that wasn't enough, during the state championship run, Cocoa won 38 straight games from 2008 to 2010, despite playing one of the most difficult schedules in the nation. Wilkinson says competing against the best builds character and strengthens his team. Our goal remains to win a state championship every season and build players that can have an opportunity to perform at the next level. For his efforts as Cocoa coach, Wilkinson was honored in 2011 as Florida Coach of the Year by the National Federation of High Schools, and in 2012 he was inducted into the Florida Athletic Coaches Association Hall of Fame. And now, we induct Coach John Wilkinson into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame.
Following the footsteps of many great coaches here on the Space Coast, John Wilkinson.
Just truly humbled to be here with all these great people. A lot of them that I grew up idolizing, and a lot of the great coaches that I follow. No matter what sports you coach, if you're a coach, you're a coach. And, I can appreciate all of the things that the great coaches in this room have done. I want to start out by thanking Giles and Tom, Space Coach Daily, Maverick Multimedia. Obviously, I need to thank my number one fan, that's my wife, Mara, for taking care of things. We've had several people in here discuss the spouse and how important they are to a coach's life, and she takes care of everything at home, and I don't have to worry. Just like, and I really appreciate her and love her. Also, it was nice to hear about the children too. We sometimes don't expect, or think about them. My son Cooper, my daughter Keegan, they couldn't make it tonight, but it's one of those things where, I appreciate them letting me be away and having coaching my other kids. And also my parents, who have gave me a great life growing up on Merritt Island, and I really appreciate all they do. I love them. So my wife and parents can stand up so we can see them. I want to give a early shout out, Happy Mother's Day. Next, there's a lot of people in my life that influenced me. Coach Odom was probably my number one guy. Playing for him and then coaching with him, I've learned so much from him. He's just an unbelievable guy. He's kind of second father to me in terms of, I just always wanted to be like him. And for us in the Merritt Island community, he was kind of the guy that we all looked to. And he's just a special, special person. Coach McLean, who's back in the back there. Bubba already mentioned him, but Coach, he was a coach, my coach, when in high school, and we become best friends pretty much. And he was in a wedding and things like that. So it's kind of one of those things where we kind of I've grown up together with him. And Bubba also mentioned my favorite teacher from high school is here, Miss Benty. So I want to give a shout out to my favorite teacher. But I kind of feel like that. My life has been like two families. I have my Merritt Island family, where I grew up, and where I always, was so proud of the tradition and things at Merritt Island. And one of the people at Merritt Island when I was growing up was Coach Chuck Goldfarb, who I was a bat boy for when I was 7 or 8 years old when he was coaching Merritt Island. That shows you how old he is. But that relationship was good for me because when it came time for Coach Odom to retire, he was the athletic director of Cocoa, and he had to talk Miss Dacus into hiring me as a football coach, which I was so thankful for. She was worried that I was going to go back to Merritt Island after a year or two, and he had to convince her that no, and he was here to stay. So my first family is Merritt Island, then my second family, Cocoa High. The community support, I really love our people over there. I mean, it's just a great, great community. And Cocoa High School has just been a complete blessing for me. I love the kids over there. We all talk about being good coaches, but obviously you're not good coaches without good players. And we've got fantastic players that have bought into our hard work and discipline that we try to bring to them. I love the tradition that we're building at Cocoa. I love all the people involved. Now my new family includes Mayor Blake and Dick Blake, who's going in, and a lot of the people that from Cocoa High School, just make my life complete, and I really like being there. But again, what a great evening! A lot of you people, you don't understand how much I followed your careers and how much I idolize a lot of you people, and grew up, on Merritt Island, wanting to be like you and emulate what you do. And so for me to go into the Hall of Fame with some of you people is really, really special. So again, thank you, and I really appreciate it.
That was a great coach leading the way at Cocoa. What a great tradition at Cocoa High School, as we've seen tonight. Well, folks, you've been absolutely fantastic. I know it's been a long evening. You're a wonderful group here. On behalf of Maverick Multimedia, SpaceCoastDaily.com, it's our privilege to be able to bring this event to you and to be able to prepare all these incredible stories. We couldn't do it without our own Hall of Fame team at Space Coast Daily and Maverick. I'd like to thank, of course, Tom Palermo, a partner and a publisher. That's right. I'd like to thank Matt O'Hearn right down here. I'd like to thank Joshua Adams. He's our young genius here who actually built the platform of Space Coast Daily, which, by the way, I must tell you a quick story. If I can just hold your attention for one last second. We published a picture of a burglar in Titusville 4 days ago. We had 96,000 people look at that picture, which is absolutely, we're just absolutely delighted by the ability to reach into the community. We'd like to thank Jim Palermo, our partner, Dr. Jim Palermo, who couldn't be here tonight. He's our editor-in-chief of our publications. We would like to thank Maria Sonnenberg, who's one of our outstanding journalists who wrote many of these stories. We would like to thank Brian Dillon, who prepared these incredible video vignettes as you've seen tonight. They all live on Space Coast Daily, folks. You can always tune into the Daily and look at those videos anytime you like. Ed Pierce, I would like to thank him for his work. John Ross over here, our video guy, he's recorded everything tonight, so you'll all be able to see all these great speeches. Danny Tharp's speech. Yes, you'll be able to see that on Space Coast Daily, thanks to John Ross. And Thomas Carrigan, we'd like to thank Thomas as well at the back. I would like to thank the lady, she's around here somewhere, Debbie Bislin. She's been absolutely amazing. Debbie, yes, she is right there. And our wonderful little ambassadors right there. Her husband, Roger, is the Wizard of Oz back here behind the screen. He's been the one changing all these videos for us. I would like to thank Roger. He's a great friend and we really appreciate him. Chef Leroy, all the help back there, wonderful job. And I would like to thank my Hall of Famer, my wife Alison Malone is here today. She's my rock. And my son Michael Malone is running around taking photographs. Michael is here. See you next year, folks. Same place, May 10th, May 9th next year. Come back and see us. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful year. We appreciate your support. Thank you very much.